myself here. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was having issues with my microphone. And, it turned out that issue was my headset wasn't plugged in properly. Well, now that that's sorted out, I'll be going back to playing Major Minor. Okay, so this was the last one, right? Yep, that's the last one. That's the one I want. Yep. The stairs creak heavily as I enter the cellar, in a way that will destroy any attempt at stealth. Oops. There's no doubt about it. He knew I was here. But at least he's able to tell that I came alone. But then where was he? I finally reached the bottom. The cold floor sends shivers up my spine. Only heat in this place. It's the flicker of candles. I take steps forwards, looking at all of the wine. There's so many bowls, so many variety. Ugh. Wish I could try them all. Did PB and Fidget brew this all their own? I scan the place to the best of my ability, but for the life of me, I can't find Tricky. Hey! I jumped through the air in fright. How in the world did he get behind me? I mean, how could such a buff bear be so stealthy?
Oh, did I frighten you? My apologies, Lilith. Did you make sure to close the door?
I nod. He seemed pretty paranoid about all of this. Either that, or he's about to tell me something big. I'm actually not sure what would be worse right now. So instead, I stare at him with an inquisitive silence.
Listen, I'll make this quick. Waste time isn't in my nature. I've been following you.
That's kind of creepy when you put it like that. He's been following me? That's really creepy. Yeah.
Ever since you arrived in Terra, and what you dropped into that forest, I want you to make your way to Riley.
Really? That must be the name of this town.
I know who you are, and your mission here.
Good, because I'm not really sure myself what I'm supposed to be doing.
So you don't have to hide anything from me.
Why would he be following me like that? And how did he know about the ritual? I can't help but shake this feeling. Like everyone has been lying to me.
I don't think you fully understand things.
What?
But then again, neither do the assassins. They're simply being used by the king.
Huh?
Give me a chance to explain myself first.
Alright.
I assure you that I am not against you. I value your life and your safety. If I want to hurt you, I would have. After all, I'm blocking the only exit.
That's a pretty terrifying way to reassure me. But he spoke the truth, as harsh as it was.
So please, hear me out. I beg you. You're about to make a terrible mistake.
What? I shrug and decide to listen. I wasn't in a position to make an educated decision. I moved the wall and pressed my back against it. Better get comfortable for what I'm about to hear.
Now where should I begin?
He takes a few moments before speaking, as if he's lost in thought.
Let's start with the issue of Velasquez. I have some very condemning evidence. He's lying, playing a sinister scheme. He showed you as the savior to him.
What? But the other guy, the guy opposing the king, he's lying about. Uh, he's lying about food shortage just to get rid of infants. What?
Thanks, your friends. This is spreading. But you know this was also part of his plan. The more people that talk about you, the easier it is to hide his true intent.
What is true intent?
He lets his citizens spread the rumors.
Well, I have to be wary of what he says. Yeah. I was told he could resort to deceit. If he's against them, he's against the king as well. So it makes sense he'd want me to change sides.
Now, I don't know exactly what he's hiding,
Because he's extremely good at hiding it. So, you don't know what his plan is?
but I just know that it's there.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
Benjamin and Conrad are too far gone to see. Now I'm glad I didn't become an assassin. I was close, but backed out near the end. Felix had a ruthless, limitless test. In order to join, I had to do something unthinkable.
What?
I can't tell you what it is, though. I swore an oath of secrecy back then. And no matter what, I'm still honorable. I had a man undercover in the castle. His job was to extract anything he could. I'm led to believe he's now found something big. I know that you might not believe me. Or at least my way alone.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that is why I have evidence. First caught my undercover agent. He directed his efforts into capturing him. His name was Kalen, my top mercenary.
Hey, I recognize that name. It's been a while since I played some. Forgot who that is. That's who Benjamin and Conrad are expecting mail from. Oh,
Kalen was undercover as a royal servant. Those scholars need him silenced immediately, so he gave Kalen a condemning order. She asked Kalen to help ruin Claire. They planned fake evidence in his estate. Together, they ruined his campaign. If he denied, his cover would be blown, and his reputation as a mercenary ruined. You're useless if you can't hold your cover. Felix had him in a checkmate, had no choice but to accept the mission. So he went on to disrupt Claire's rally. Isn't it extremely convenient? Karen now rests in prison, silenced. The one man who could help expose Felix.
it seems a little too precise to be coincidence. I'm really confused here.
And Endymion and Curd help the king. They think they're exposing Lord Claire. This was a ploy to get Kalen in jail. Your friend will find his mailbox empty. Felix has already attained his goal. The empty mailbox will be proof enough. Claire has top-notch security on his estate. Kalen will not be able to follow through. He'll simply starve and die in prison. I know that Velasquez hates Lord Claire, but this plan has nothing to do with that. If anything, he wants Claire to help out. Claire will keep Kalen under constant watch, and after a week he'll starve to death, taking all the evidence with him.
That makes sense. Things are starting to come together. Everyone in Terra seems to be connected somehow. This political puzzle's finally starting to take shape.
Endymion and Conrad are too far gone. They would never question their king, no matter how odd the order seemed. Kalen was very skilled at stealth. There was no reason to capture him. He could plant evidence in the night. Why not ask Endymion and Conrad? They would Claire's unconditional trust. They could have easily planted evidence. It makes absolutely no sense, but they serve well questioned. I fear they are leading you to your demise. And if you doubt what I'm saying, well, they did the same to Kalen. He will die unless he gets broken out. Even when they find their mailbox empty, I don't think they will realize the truth. They will still take you right to the king. Even if that means leaving Caleb to die. You see, they are blinded by money, something they often accuse me of. But me, I value your life. I want to keep you safe from the king,
The king doesn't seem so bad.
and safe from those two heartless killers. Please, help my cause instead. Together we can rescue Caleb. And in the process, we can expose Vasquez. I'm sure that you hold common sense. We can't just let Caleb die in a cell. Nor can we let Vasquez win like that. Upstairs, I was just putting on an act. I wanted it to seem like a sales pitch. Please maintain the facade free, okay? If they ask you what happened, tell them you refused my offer to help. Do not reveal anything I said to you, right?
He lets out a sigh.
I wish I could have gone to you first. It would have spared so much trouble. No doubt you are extremely confused. If I found you first, you'd be fine. It makes more sense for a clear head. An open mind, like the other one had.
What? It is all very confusing. I'm not sure what to do. Lots of information is conflicting right now. But Furry hasn't hurt me yet, so there's that. Wait a minute. Did he just say the other one?
Because of Ken, I knew about the rituals. Today, I was able to intercept it. I was hoping to grab you, but I couldn't. For some reason, the ritual broke too.
What?
So instead of you, I got someone else.
Is that who I think it is?
Perhaps I can convince you as a friend.
He turns his head to the darkness of the cellar.
You can come out now.
Shadow emerges from the darkness. And at that moment, I was utterly shocked. I saw the last person I expect to see on Terra. I knew it! Killer? Meanwhile, back on Earth, a shady back alley late into the night. So, how are you holding up? I'm tired. You shouldn't have woken me up. Shock, you need to know. Don't give me any of that nonsense. You and Clint's place went way back. So, I just want to talk to you about this. I know it must be affecting you somehow. You were childhood friends, you know? You should go back to your contest winners. Seems to me they were more obsessed. Why don't you go interrupt their sleep? Don't be stupid. Listen, you know I care about you. If I were in your shoes, I'd need a friend. I'm just doing what's appropriate, Shock. This affects you more than it does them. Who are you to say what affects me or not? Stuff your nose back in that tablet, Rook. It doesn't belong in my personal business. Yeah. Sorry for caring. I know why you really called this meeting. You don't care how I feel at all. You care about whether or not I'm staying. Now cut to the chase. Now this is about my friend. It's about how our careers will change. Shock, I really do care. I know what it's like to lose someone. I've been in this exact situation before. Is that so? That's not what I heard. I heard you like to abandon others. It's the reverse, Rook. People lose you. Now I told you to cut to the chase. What's the real reason you called me here? Fine. I guess I'll pretend not to care. There's something you're good at. Sin decided to restructure the tour. Opening night would be a memorial service. Oh yeah, I remember that. You know, like a vigil in Clay's honor. Really? Singe has sentiment? Well, I guess you could say that. But I did to minimize refunds. Yeah. It is a bit outlier, but shades of grey.
The fans will still want to attend. That makes more sense. Sure, I thought he might have grown a heart. He wanted me to ask you something. If perhaps you'd make a little speech. You know, as a childhood friend of the place. The fans might want to hear your voice. It could give the vigil more impact.
I'll think about it.
Really? He was one of your best friends. This is his memorial service, you know. You really have to think about this? Indeed I do. You got a problem with that? No? Also, there will be a big announcement. Daz will take Clace's place in the tour. He would appreciate it if you stayed. Brock is going to stay. He's pledged his services to Daz. What do you think about that, Shock?
I think I'll have to think about it.
Very well. Can I go now? I suppose. But first, about the contest winners.
Yeah, we're missing.
They're not precious to me.
What?
The contest was Clay's idea, Shock. I did it for him, and now he's gone.
So, you don't care about us at all?
They'll wake up to some horrible news. Assume they haven't heard already.
Yeah, we heard alright.
In fact, we might even send them home. Sinch needs to decide what we'll do. I'll have you know they don't impact me. Got it. And about what you might be feeling, just please do me one favor, Shock. Don't make the same mistake I did. With all due respect, Rook, only you could screw up that bad.
Oof. Shock stormed off, pushing Rook out of his way.
Wow. And people think I'm a jerk.
Well, you kind of are.
Well then, what's going into him? Oh, there you are, Daz. I think he skipped a few steps. Went right into the anger stage of grief.
That's a fact. I could see it on his face. I guess we all handle things differently. Yeah, true.
Yeah, some more harmful than others. Thanks for coming to see me at last.
No problem. Is there anything I can do? If I can help in any way, please tell me.
Well, I know that you were with Singe. Perhaps you have some information for me? Aside from your promotion, I mean. Singe told me about that directly. But I don't know much else. Other than the changes to opening night.
Well, I talked with Rucker for a bit. He seemed more interested in mythology, so I tried to get out there quickly.
Sounds like him. It's admirable, though. He's still able to study while abroad. If only he didn't show it off all the time.
Yeah, that can be a little troublesome. I could give you a big lecture, though. Especially on the creation of Japan. Ah, yes, that was fascinating to hear.
You're implying I couldn't do the same. Remember, I work for him every day.
Oh, so you've heard the story too from him? Heh. Well, anyway, about the murders. I think there's been a breakthrough there.
What? Really? You think I'd know about that? My mailbox is usually flooded all night.
The police are even keeping it a secret, but they found a culprit. At least, for half the cases. This person confessed to being a copycat. They were responsible for the gun murders.
Interesting.
They have a solid alibi for all the other cases, so now we're left with a bunch of suicides. So the real mystery isn't solved. People are taking their own lives. Even if they're completely healthy, and with no evidence left behind either. It seems as if the bodies are moved. It's the only way this makes sense.
So there's another killer out there, and then...
It seems to be that way. But the police don't care. They're closing the case in the morning. They'll just be labelled as suicides. That's not fair. Even though it's physically impossible.
Indeed. Anyone could realize that. The crime scene don't match the crime. Bit premature to close the case like that.
Of course. But there's nothing we can do. If it's closed, we'll never know the truth. This leaves it in the hands of others.
So you want to play detective now?
Oh, that'd be interesting. I want to know who did this to us. Don't you? I want to know who killed him.
I'd rather not know.
Why not?
Don't you read? Finding out the culprit makes you a target.
Oh, that's a fair point, but...
Just someone else I need to silence. I advise you to drop it, Daz. We don't need to lose another idol. We need to work on moving forward together.
You have a point. Sin didn't back down so easily.
He never does. What do you do now?
He already has a suspect in mind. Oh? Clace's bodyguard.
Really?
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense. The bird started when we arrived, and the scene seemed expertly tampered with. It makes sense given his background. He worked for the police before Singe. He'd be able to pull strings like that. Seemed too simple to me. I thought so at first. But Singe hauled him in for questioning. And that's where it gets more suspicious. What? It seems that he's fled Tokyo. Oh, that is suspicious. Singe's office earlier that night. So,
What do you mean, he's gone?
It's just like it sounds. We can't find him anywhere. He might as well have vanished.
How convenient.
We found a letter in his room, though. It simply reads, "I'm sorry."
An admission of guilt, perhaps?
It doesn't seem that way. If he did this, he wouldn't be sorry. In fact, he wouldn't leave anything behind. It seemed to be more of a genuine apology. Perhaps he was ashamed to admit that he failed us. It was his duty to protect Clace, after all. I think the letter is of his resignation. He couldn't face us again after this.
Or maybe it was to throw us off the trail. Now he'll have to go live in silence. We need to hunt for him immediately.
That's a pretty far-fetched theory. I don't mean any offense, Singe.
Far-fetched coming from you? I thought you relished in far-fetched. Things being both alive and dead at once. You write about quantum mechanics all day. And you say my theory is far-fetched? At least I based mine on reality. I'm sorry, Jade. That was rude of me. It's just been a really long night. And I don't think it will end anytime soon.
I'll accept your apology. You're under extreme duress, after all. Duress, Does that mean stress or something? Eh?
Thank you. So what do we do now?
I think we just move on with our lives. There's not much else we can do. We'll just pay attention to media reports. We're not detectives. We're not police. We can't be expected to solve this, Singe. We have to drop it and leave to them.
If only it were that simple.
I do agree, but we can't just sit around. The tour isn't going to run itself. We have lots to do, and in so little time. First and foremost, a new bodyguard. We'll need to hire some protection. Not just for Daz, but for everyone. I have a few candidates gathered here. I went on a little hunt for CVs. I've already run background checks.
Thank you, Jade. You'll help me stay sane.
I don't
know what I'd do without you. Don't mention it. I'm just doing what you pay me for. I recommend the candidate named Acurum. His past expertise is very impressive. That, and he has a perfect track record. Very well. I'd like to see him. Can you call him here immediately? I'm sure he'll understand our predicament. Of course, Singe. But one more thing. What should we do with the contest was? Well, we're not present on Earth, so... the sun will rise soon, and I have no idea. I had completely forgotten. It's always something, isn't it? Bring them to me when they wake up, okay? I'll decide what to do when I meet them. This has turned into one huge headache. He takes a deep breath and places his face in his hands. It might be better to just send them home. Well, we're very, very far from home. So back on Terra... I stand shocked what seems like an eternity. My mind is bombarded with impossible questions. A cacophony of thoughts and voices assault my mind. How on earth did Killer end up in Terra just like that? Hey, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I didn't really believe in ghosts all that much, but I too might feel the same at seeing one for real. This is the last possible thing I'd expected to happen. Step out of it, okay? There's lots to talk about here. That much was true. I'm snapped back into reality. Perhaps a thorough explanation of this can help me, because right now I'm still wondering why Killer is here. I decided this is a good question to start with. Well, I remember one last thing. We were in the hotel watching some TV, and they reported that Clace was killed. Yeah. Brady's ears perk up at the mention of the name Clace. What? At least that's what it seemed like to me. It's possible he was confused about the word TV. Maybe. But then, that's all I remember from Tokyo. As quick as I saw that, I was here. I thought it was hallucinating or something. I panicked and eventually collapsed. I ate a face full of soil, embarrassingly. I was on the ground for a really long time. That is, until this guy found me. He motions his head towards Righty. Yeah, that's how it happened. I didn't think the ritual would bring two. As soon as I could, I snatched Killer up. I was too late by the time you came. Envio and Conrad already got you. Our only option was to sneak. I had to find a chance to get you alone. That's why I invited you down here to talk. Killer's told me a lot about you as well. Can I continue now? Yes, of course. Wright told me his side of the story. Let me just say, it makes way more sense. I think you're following the wrong guys. Endymion and Conrad are too gullible. They believe anything the king says. They don't even realize they're slaves. I'm not sure how to make this any clearer. Have you heard the other side of the story? The king does want Lord Blair to lose. But this Caleb matter is totally separate. There's blatant holes in their orders, but they're too loyal to the king to see. They follow without a single objection. But right here thinks before he acts. He's not a fraud to his Velasquez. I think he's a good guy here. He's the good guy here, Lilith. I'm not sure. What do you think? You got my back, don't you? Honestly don't know what to think. I'm so confused. Some of this makes sense, but some of it's outrageous. I started to piece it all together in my head. Killer didn't mention the Ark. It must have been specific to me. It makes sense that he got here before me, then. The man in the Ark didn't intercept Killer's trip. But still, I have no idea why Killer was brought here. Is it just because he was beside me when I was taken? I explained everything to Killer. He had a revelation, about the ritual.
What?
You said that your world suffers from it?
Oh, right. I nearly forgot about that. This whole world, and the ritual, it ties into the Midnight Deaths. Your two friends, Envion and Conrad. The ritual they're performing, it's the sole cause of the Midnight Deaths. Interesting thought. I asked him to elaborate. I want to see if his thoughts line up with my own. Well, their ritual was once a day, and had to be at the same time, too. Same rules as the Midnight Deaths. There is a time difference, though. Midnight on Earth could be daytime here. Regardless, the ritual still is an Earthling. And when an Earthling comes here, they die. But they die on Earth or they die on Terra? Yes, but what? At least they do on Earth. Aha! But they're still alive on Terra. For some reason, they live on in Terra. There's no other explanation. Okay, I mean, they didn't really die then, I guess. It makes sense, but there are few glaring holes. We were brought here after midnight. We were still able to hear news of Clay's death. I challenged his theory with that fact. Hey, you're right. In that case, I don't know. Furthermore, his theory assumes some odd things. First of all, that Clace is alive and well on Terra. And second, that we are both dead on Earth. I decided not to tell him about the Ark here. That doesn't seem to be too important to them. I play alongside his process of thought. If his theory were true, there'll be 3 rituals. One for Clace, one for him, and one for me. I'm going to take that challenge to writing.
It was only performed once a day. Those were Valasker's strict orders. I don't think they'll disobey him.
That's very strange. It can't be coincidence, though. They're way too similar to ignore. You and I standing here is proof of that. A small timing issue can't prove me wrong. Everything still kind of lines up. That's not true at all. Clace isn't with us. And Furry says the ritual was only ever performed once. Pokes holes all over Killer's theory. But there has to be a reasonable explanation.
Perhaps the ritual brought all of you. But you just travelled at different speeds? This would compensate for the difference.
No, it can't be that. We're still on Earth past midnight. Let me think about this for a moment. I got it. You know the news report? It was on TV an hour after Clay's death. Warp time on Terra just moves faster. 1 hour there is 1 day here. It explains everything perfectly. Ritual of another day brought us here. It also explains why we never saw Clace. We came here a day later than he did. Could be anywhere by now, you know. That's possible, but I'm not sure if it makes sense or not. It's not an overly huge difference. Besides, Envion and Conrad did talk about time slow. I still dislike the implication that we're both dead. But some of this is just wishful thinking. We don't know the specifics about either world. Namely, the Mount rituals and Midnight Deaths. If we did, we'd be taking steps in the right direction. But again, there are too many coincidences at play. I'd have to stop considering the deaths a mystery now. We need specifics, but clearly involve terror. And the King's ritual was the most probable cause.
Gilbert believes the ritual is responsible. Adrian and Conrad are the murderers. There is logic behind his theory as well. Either way, we can learn the truth. We can't learn the truth. Not while chilling down in a wine cellar. I'm sure you can agree with me on that.
It's all just very confusing. Righty cracked his knuckles loudly. Then he stares down at me menacingly.
One very important question remains. One that you can answer. You can answer here now.
Oh?
Who do you believe? Will you go back upstairs? Will you travel with Enriel and Conrad? Even though the king lies to all of you? Or will you come with us? We can rescue Kaelin as a team, as testimony will expose Velasquez. I can't guarantee your safety if you leave. I won't be able to watch over you anymore. But aside of us, I'll keep you safe. We'll help Kaelin reveal the king's motives. That may be how you really save Terra. We're under the hand of a tyrannical ruler. Huh? You're gonna come with us, right? I mean, we're friends and stuff. This is a hard decision to make. If I against anyone current, they'd hate me. They'd probably make enemies out of Velasquez's assassins. On the other hand, Karen might not have proof. The king may not even be as bad as Riley claims. There's also a risk of the rescue mission failing. That, and I'd have assassins out to get me. Siding with Frighty and Killer seems very risky. I might not be able to complete my mission as a savior. However, if I side with Enriel and Conrad, then Killer and Frighty might become my enemies. But Enriel and Conrad will bring them right to the king. I'd be able to hear the plan from the man himself. Yeah, that's a good idea. This would be the easiest route for me to take. Especially if I want to help the man in the Ark. But what if Velasquez did want to use me for evil? This chance meeting with him could condemn me. Once we're face to face, he could do anything. And what if Enriel and Conrad have a secret agenda? They are assassins after all, not peacekeepers. This is a tough choice indeed. I wish it were as easy as choices back in Tokyo. Things are getting far less black and white on Terra. I stand aside to think of what to say next. Alright, so here's a very important choice to make. Right? Okay. Who do I believe? Who do I side with? You know what? I'm not fully convinced by all this. I still think the king is a good guy, so I'm going back with Enriel and Conrad. It's not easy for me to break the news to them, especially since I'm staring them in the face. But I let them know that I trust Enriel and Conrad. What? They stare at me, their gaze is like knives. Then they try to cut through my resolve, but they can't. Of course, they don't know the real reason I'm here. I'm performing recognition for the man in the Ark. This isn't something I could just tell them, nor is it something I would expect them to believe. So for now, they might secretly resent me. Enriel and Conrad had no reason to lie to me. And if the king tried anything heinous towards me, I could use my power to escape his grasp. It's also the fact that the king trusts them. It'd be easy to just walk in and meet him. This was the best course of action for my mission. Were I to go with Frighty and Killer, it would be too risky. My personal mission could fail. Frighty is free to rescue Kaelin, as I'm sure he will. My presence was unfortunately required elsewhere. I'm afraid it's too late, Killer. Your friend is under the king's spell, too.
I really don't think he's a bad guy. I don't know about that, Righty. I think she's smart. Perhaps she's planning something on her own. Oh, you catch on quick, yeah. I'm still your friend, Olaf. I won't drop you over something so small. I can't say the same for Righty, though.
No harm will befall your friend by my hand. However, I will be unable to protect them. My focus now lies in rescuing Kaelin.
Alright, so we're not enemies yet. This will let me better see the whole story. That's a shame. Righty would be a great ally to have. If you were to protect me, there's nothing I fear, but I have 2 assassin guards. Alas, this was not going to happen. At least not yet. Although I'm sure Enriel and Conrad were strong, yeah. And we had strength in numbers, not just strength. Fair point.
I guess you aren't the type to see reason.
But I am, just... You haven't really convinced me on that.
You should go back upstairs to see to your friends. Killer and I have much to discuss. It's truly a shame, though. My plate fell in deaf ears.
I feel like he's ordering me rather than requesting. I should probably go back upstairs before he bursts. I can tell he's angry, but I can see him holding back. I don't know how to react to this. I still trust you, though. I'll see you there if I have the time. I guess Furry wants me to stay. Apparently we have some planning to do. But this isn't the last you'll see of me. Alright, that's good. I know. I don't want to be on Furry's bad side. Right now, the best course of action is to leave.
Lilith.
I need to perk up as Furry says my name. He interrupts me just as I'm about to turn away.
I sense that you still hold great honor. If you change your mind, I will welcome you.
Alright, yes. Let me examine all the facts.
And if we meet enemies in the future, I will not use leaf means to subdue you.
Oh. Wow, he's great at making people feel safe. At least he won't kill me if we ever end up fighting.
Follow me, killer.
The two of them walk deeper into the cellar. Killer looks back at me once before leaving me behind. I feel like I just cut off an important avenue. Hopefully my choice delivers me no regret. The internal debate fills my mind. I doubt what happened as I slowly ascend the stairs. When I get back upstairs, I notice how loud it is. Oh, town definitely became more lively since I left. The place is absolutely littered with patrons. Oh. They all look incredibly happy amongst themselves. Much better than the face I saw them wear earlier. At this moment, it seems that Terra doesn't need saving. Of course, that feeling was ephemeral, as most are. I realize the happiness is most likely from the drink. Each of them holds an overflowing stein in their hands. Oh. They seem to not care how much they're spilling. I try and figure out my next course of action. So, I should probably go talk to Endermion and Conrad. They probably have some questions about Mighty. And I'm curious to see if they got their mail. That, and if they filled my papers correctly. I'm sure they got their mail from Kaylin. I didn't fully believe Mighty's little story. Well, if there wasn't any mail, I'm sure there was a logical explanation. Hey there. Surprised at all the people? I nod. People seem to forget what we are. At night, we turn to a watering hole. No immigration papers to be found. Not that bothers me, of course. Everyone's on some journey of their own. We cater to every type of person. People who've come a long way to be here, or people who still have a long way to go. Anyways, I saw you go downstairs. You must have had a chat with Righty. I nod once more. He always has something to say, that one. Sometimes I think he's bored. He sits around all day on his own. Do you want to come have a drink? Of course! Me and Fidget were about to sit down. There's something we should talk about. We have our own special table, so we don't need to wait for any vacancies. He pointed me to a table near the corner of the tavern. I see Fidget sitting down. He's talking to himself. I shrug and say sure. I didn't have anything to lose. Great. Oh, and one more thing. While you're here, you drink for free. Oh, great. I'm not one to say no to free drinks. He starts walking towards the table. I follow. I wave to Endermion and Conrad as I pass them. I just want them to know I'm not ignoring them. They wave back with a nervous look on their faces. When we arrive at the table, I promptly sit down. I yawn loudly and stretch my arms. Hopefully I can just relax for a while now. I haven't got much to do of that lately. Here again, Lilith. I sit there and wait for him to hold out his hand, but he doesn't do it this time. Interesting. So I heard you're a savior or something, I guess. And that's why you're meeting Velasquez? That is so cool! I wish I was important like that. I haven't seen the king since I was little. I glanced over at PB. So you told Fidget? Adrian and Conrad surely wanted him to keep it secret. I guess PB is the type of talk. I'll need to keep that in mind for future keep things secret from him. Hey, don't look at me like that. Don't condemn me for telling Fidget. That's my best friend, you know. And besides, what kind of friend is he? It's not like he could ever hurt somebody. That's my brother. I trust him forever. Fair enough. Dropping it for now. We had something to talk about, remember? I didn't take your appearance to judge me. It's more like the PB I saw earlier. Easily angered and extremely defensive. Are you going to let me talk to you or not? Alright. I try to apologize for derailing the subject. Thank you. So if you could get back on track, I need to talk to you about Righty. Huh? I know that you two talked in the cellar. I'm pretty sure I know what happened. Oh, what? He hates King Vasquez with passion. Yeah, I can tell. This is one reason of the reason I dislike Righty. That hatred totally clouds his judgment. Let me guess. Want to expose the king? Say he has some sort of evil plan? I nod. That was actually an apt summary. Even if I didn't really believe his story. I'm going to lay this out right there. Vasquez has never hurt anybody. We've only known peace under his reign. Well, except for... I'll get there, Fidget. Just hold on. History of his rule goes back millennia. He's been nothing but altruistic... Excuse me for... Sorry about that. Just need to... Never mind. Back to the game. Visual novel, whatever. I know that Righty is strong and smart. But on that man alone, he is biased. And I really have no idea why. Fidget and I owe Valskus so much. I don't know why he hired those assassins, but I trust his judgment unconditionally. I guess PB does know they've always worked for him. He thinks that they're new to Valskus' employ. I won't reveal this to him. It seems to be a secret. I wonder if their relationship had to do with this. Enrio and Cora did mention they're almost a trio. Perhaps Valskus did something to make him back out. I think Riley mentioned some sort of limitless test. Huh? Hey, you there? Yeah? PB snapped his fingers as if to jerk me out of a reverie. What? Does that mean trance or something? Yes, game using words I have heard before, but can somewhat pick up the meaning of. Anyway, I'm trying to talk to you here. It's rude to stop paying attention. Alright, I was just thinking. He's right. And I apologize once more. This whole situation just gets more and more confusing. I don't know whose side's the right side. Now, if you'll let me continue. I used to work for Velasquez. What? Really? And I don't mean casually or anything. Whitey was Velasquez's go-to man. That's a surprise to me. I wonder what caused him to turn so drastically. There was an incident about 10 years ago. Me and Fidget were very young. Velasquez called it the Exodus Project. Exodus? That name sounds eerily familiar to me. I guess I need to explain terror some more, or else this story won't really make sense. I forgot that you were new here for a bit. Terror is extremely open to immigration. We offer people a second chance on our soil, to start anew or escape harm. But once they arrive, they're kind of stuck here. Leaving terror is impossible. What? can never go back? Impossible.
That's what makes us special. We're something like a one-way street. Still better than your world, though. I heard that you have no open connections. I'm not sure how you even survive.
That's a good question, actually.
Anyway, back to the Exodus project. It was an attempt to open our connection. Firsters wanted to let people leave.
Ah, yeah, see, the king isn't such a bad guy.
If people could come and go as they please, terror would flourish for an eternity. No more overpopulation or famine. That and Valakers could expand. No more would he rule over just terror. He could rule over the entire galaxy, for sure. Of course, it didn't go as planned. One look around could easily tell you that.
What?
It was a huge disaster. People died. Either that, or they got stranded in space. Our mother was one of these people.
Oh?
Berserkers only wanted the smartest on Terra. Unfortunately, they suffered the most. We lost some of our key public figures. But we know Mom is out there. She'll come back to us one day. She has to.
She was so smart. And Fitch exclaims this with pride. She's smart enough to find her way back. I don't care how far she ended up. I'm being patient. I'll even wait forever.
Heh. White was close to our mum, you could say. He felt responsible for her disappearance, especially since he helped Valkers out. Valkers needed to fix his public image. He needed to show the people that he cared. There was some heat on him after all this. So he funded the creation of our tavern, and tasked Righty with building it.
What?
Around 10 years ago. We weren't here.
Wait, so Valkers was the true owner of the tavern? And he got right to build from the ground up? That's interesting. That was a real impressive feat. I'm stunned.
Valkers wanted to create a landmark, and one of galactic proportions, I mean, so the people knew how to get back home. He wanted word of terror to spread. He wanted everyone to know about the tavern. Eventually, the lost ones would hear of it. And that's the reason we run this place. We hope that one day, Mom will come back. That maybe she'll walk through that door. That's what keeps us going. With every second, she gets closer.
She's gonna be so proud of me. I've grown really big since he left. And I've learned to be good at chores.
You're doing a great job, Fidget. That's what I wanted to tell you, anyways. I don't think Valskis is up to anything. At least, nothing like Righty believes. At first, the scope of this place was clear. Over time, its reason was lost. Now we're just a plain barren office. As this happened, Righty changed too. He got less and less interested in waiting. Perhaps he lost hope, assuming Mom was...
Hey, don't say that. It's not true.
Sorry. So, Righty has a few reasons to hate, but we don't know what the real one is. I tried pressing him for it all the time, but he just says he can't tell me. Something about being a man of honor. But I never leave the tavern or outside. I think he just wants to make it up to us, even though I forgave him long ago.
A man of honor, huh? Why said that earlier when we were in the cellar. I asked him why he didn't become an assassin. Could that have to do with all of this?
The more time he spent here at the tavern, the more he hated King Valskis. Grew up. Oh, it grew and grew over a long period of time. And that's all there is to it, really. His hatred seems to transcend everything. No matter how much good Valskis has done. And that is a lot of good. I'm sure you can agree with me. I mean, just look at this tavern.
Agreed. Vasquez seems like a very nice ruler. He owned up and corrected his mistakes, yeah. I can't believe he's the bad guy. Doing stuff like that is very noble. Definitely a mentality befitting that of a king. In the very least, I'm glad that PB told this to me. It's solidified in my mind that Righty wasn't correct. He may have gone to kill her, but I know who to trust. Empion and Conrad will help me succeed in Terra. Let's push matters of the past aside. I have my own theory on the future. Whatever it is that makes you special, I think I know what Valskus wants. He wants to helm another Exodus project. Whoa, really? You're being hailed as a savior, so I'm gonna help people leave this plan? I have no doubt in my mind. He used the term in the past as well. Before the first Exodus project, he promised that Terra would be saved. I say you have a long journey ahead. I guess it's only fitting you came here. The Wayfarer's Tavern, I mean. I hope your journey is swift and safe. I hope that's the case as well. The Ray tried to make me sway from my path. It didn't work, but I hope it never happened again. And I hope they were able to save and rescue Kaden. I didn't really believe his entire story, but Kaden was in jail, that much was certain. I decided to ask PB about his thoughts on Lord Claire. Well, some people don't like immigration. They think it's harming Terra irreparably. Lord Claire is just one of those men. I can see where he's coming from, but he seeks a total severance. Exodus project was more admirable. Yeah. Life on an unconnected world? I'm not sure why Claire wants that. It seems like it will be impossible. No offense, of course. I'm sure they made it work back on Earth. None taken. Terra was odd for me. We just have some major cultural differences. Well, thanks for listening to me anyway. I didn't mean to talk for so long. No, it's okay. I'll let you get back to your friends. When he says friends, he looks to Enderman and Conrad. I smile and thank him for the chat before leaving. As soon as I stand up, I look towards the assassins. They seem to be in deep conversation amongst themselves. But I'm sure it involves me. I walk towards them. When I arrive at the table, I promptly sit down. I'm sure I have a lot to tell these two, especially with what just happened in the cellar. I look at both of them as they sit across from me. An awkward silence ensues, and they display worry. Did I miss something on their end as well? It takes a moment before the silence is broken. Well, aren't you getting popular? Looks like you have quite the following. I'm not sure how to take that. That was uncalled for, Conrad. They can make as many friends as they want. Besides, the more the merrier. We might be here longer than we thought. What? Well, everyone went to check the mail. Might as well be lined with dust. There's nothing in there. Nothing at all. I'm afraid it's true. That's just what Wright expected. I'm worried. This isn't a good sign. But Conrad here has jumped to conclusions. I prefer to think of things more logically. He seems to think that Kaden is in danger. What else could it mean? He failed to execute mission parameters. That definitely means something is wrong. It could mean a simple change of plans. That happens all the time, Conrad. Remember the line of work we're in? You sure about that? Well, no. Exactly. Endymion has it all wrong. He thinks we should take you to Valskus, even if Clayton's life is clearly in danger. Twisting my words, as usual. I always said it would be logical. We can't just go attacking Claire's home. Our cover would be blown. He'd know our true allegiance. The smear campaign would go on to fail. Valskus would lose the throne, Conrad. We'd fail everything he wants us to do. We can't break our mission parameters. Well, I think that I decided to cut them off right here. I could end their senseless bickering immediately. Huh? I tell them what Riley said to me in the cellar. They don't need to worry about Kaden right now. Ryder is vowing his own little rescue mission, yeah. They can take me straight to Valskus. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. He must know some of what we plan. I didn't think he still used spies. I let them know that Kaden was a spy here, as well as what Righty wants to do with him. He had been spying on them in Valskus all along.
Well, we knew Cannon was a mercenary, but we didn't know he was righties. And he was spying on us all along? Damn! I honestly didn't expect that at all. The rally was the first time we saw Caleb. To know he was undercover for that long? Righty must know about the ritual then.
Yeah, he does.
And he must know all about you, too. How did I not recognize Kalen? If he truly did spy on Velasquez, well, he must be in disguise. That boy is definitely a prodigy. I tell them what Righty said. How Velasquez wanted Kalen to starve to death. That's why I used the rally to get him imprisoned. Kalen had dug up some royal secrets while undercover. Propaganda. Velasquez would never do that. And yet our own mailbox remains empty. Conrad, you can't possibly believe this. I'm sure Rye's efforts will be fruitless. Well, at least I'm getting more perspective. I'm getting a little bit confused, but I think this add up, I think. Either way, he'll attack the player for us. We're lucky, even if we were being played. If Cannon is fine, he'll look foolish. But if for some reason he's in danger, well, I doubt that Velasquez is involved. Velasquez would never want a boy to die, especially not such a young and skilled one. Or would he? What? You seem to forget about our history, mainly the origins of our little guild. And you seem to forget our jobs. We kill those who oppose Velasquez, or those who threaten his reign. We might not be killing all player, but that doesn't completely absolve us. Especially not from our little test. I wonder if Velasquez has joined our ranks. He could be doing some killing of his own. He wouldn't do such a thing. Velasquez is an honorable man. Honorable enough to hire assassins, yeah. And Cannon would die by starvation alone. So Velasquez's hands would remain clean. I know about to turn against the king, but what if he had his own agenda? It's not such an outrageous thought, Andy. He's capable of hiding things from us, especially if Cannon knows secret stuff. Empire has something they need to hide. And what would that be? How would I know? He'd be hiding it. That was a pretty stupid question, Andy. Anyone slammed his fist on the table. Seems even Conrad is skeptical of the king, but as I've said before, think logically. These accusations are extremely outlandish. Do not say Righty would do this. Subterfuge, exactly as I thought. He wants us to be having this conversation. I guess you're right. Sorry for that line of thought. You should be. Insubordination is a vile thing, Conrad. I didn't think you were capable of it. Emion takes 2 keys out of his pocket. He placed them on the table. One for me and one for Conrad. He placed the one for me that says 23 on it. Respectfully, I'm ending this discussion. I got BB to rent us a room for the night. He'll place on our growing tab. But trust me, it'll be pocket change. Especially after we deliver the Savior. We depart in the morning. Rest well. If Velasquez asks us why we're late, well, we'll have to blame on Righty. I'll be at your door as the sun rises. He gets up and leaves without another word. I'm sorry for the way he talks sometimes. I don't think he knows what logic means. It doesn't mean sucking up to our king. Where I come from, you doubt everybody. And don't draw the line at your boss. That is fair, but especially if they rely on your skill. More reason for them to butter you up. Let me give you one piece of advice. And this is my creed, so don't judge me. The closer you let somebody get to know you, the faster they can stab you in the back. Ooh, that's rather pessimistic. I don't believe in friendship. What? A friend will always become an enemy. I don't share that philosophy. You just haven't set them off yet. It's not like I want this to be true, but I've seen it happen so many times, especially in our line of work. A friend is such a fleeting thing, but an enemy you remember forever. Stunning how fast that transition can be. That's why I try not to make friends. they're really all just potential foes. Except for you. You seem different. What? Perhaps it's an earthling thing. Or perhaps you're special. He rubs his arm nervously. I didn't mean to lecture you. I apologize, love. I tell him there's no need to apologize. And in fact, I asked him to continue. I was interested in learning about their pasts, especially more about their relation to Righty. Really? Thought you want me to shut up. You really are something else, you know? He lets out a soft smile. Me and Enderman go way back. We knew each other before we teamed up. I kinda hate that story, though. He'll have to tell you that one. It makes me seem weak and boring. But if you want to know about Righty, well, I can tell you a lot about that guy. About 10 years ago, there was an incident, I think I heard, Berserkers had helmed some sort of big project. Instead of helping, it was a huge failure. He ended up getting a lot of hate for this. There were people who wanted him out. From the throne, or even from living. He must be talking about the Exodus project, yeah. Ted's attempt to open its connection to other worlds. Berserkers need a more militant approach. He was usually passive, but not anymore. He did have Righty as his hired guard, but protection just wasn't enough anymore. He needed to wipe out insurrection, stop attempts at Ridside before they began. That's why he formed the Assassin's Guild. Originally, Righty was supposed to lead, and he was supposed to recruit 2 others. That's why he found me and Endymion. Begun an audience with developers. We were meant to be a Truman Church. We were supposed to ensure his reign, and we were all placed above the law. Velskers knows what's best for Terra. A new rule would just screw things up. We weren't put into action for a while. During the time, this tavern was built. Righty built it, actually. Berserkers wanted to win over the people. Then be able to plan things freely. Everyone was reveling over this place. If it left us free to do what we needed. Berserkers is a genius, I'll admit. But before it put us in the field, we had to complete an entrance exam. Something we did to show our fealty. This is what Righty told me about earlier. He said he couldn't do it, and had to back out. You need to realize before I tell you this, I was young and stupid. I didn't know the world like they did. They were fully grown men at this point. I was just a clueless teenager. I only knew it was right to follow my peers. So let me put it this way. We had to prove we were worthy assassins. And what else would we do but kill? Yeah, that's logical. Berserkers weren't satisfied with just anyone. Fred showed that we had held no remorse. What? That we killed with no hesitation at all. What? Let's see. Then he researched our past. He came up with very specific targets. Somehow, he thought this was a good idea. What? He had us kill our friends and family. What? He had us kill those we were close to. What? Those we even call lovers. But I don't make friends, remember? In this situation, I got off easy. But anyone had those connections. I watched him kill the people he loved. All in an effort to win over our king. What? But this way Righty ran away. He was close to Peter and Fidget by now. Now I'm starting to have my doubts about the king. Choosing his target was easy for Velocus, but he couldn't do it. Not at all. He broke down and ran away in an instant. I never thought he'd be the type to run. Or is it... He sought shelter in this tavern. That's kind of ironic, don't you think? The same tavern that Velocus funded. And he barely leaves the rabbits alone. He thinks they might be targeted again. That someone would do what he couldn't. I have no idea how to respond to this story. It was definitely the last thing I ever expected to hear. We all swore to uphold our honor. We said we'd never tell anyone about this. But I guess I might lack honor. I know that you won't repeat this. I trust you with this information. I don't think you're the type to talk. Now you know about our past with writing. I don't fully trust Philip because it's possible that he wants Galen dead. Anyway, I'll let you get your rest. Please don't hold my actions against me. I was young back then, and stupid. He gets up and leaves, not saying another word. It's probably for the best. I'm at a loss too. I have no idea how to take any of what I just said. Yeah, things are getting really bloody now. It's hard to get a read on anybody in terror. Just when I think I know them, this happens. I almost can't believe what I just heard. Was I against Fry the right thing to do? I keep this conflict in my head. Best not show doubt to those around me. I notice a bunch of doors on the second floor. They must all be rooms for rent. I look for room 23, where I'll be staying. When I eventually find there's a drawing on it. It's a stick figure and a rabbit figure holding hands. What? Both the figures are smiling. What the? That's really cute. I look a little closer. It's signed by Fidget. I guess he views us as friends? I'm grateful. Given this my room, I must be a stick figure. I unlock the door and take a deep breath as I enter. Finally, I have some time to relax. I feel like this is a major victory. But all it really is the calm before the storm. Later that night, in the privacy of the wine cellar, I have to say, I'm really glad you helped. Destroying the mail was a great idea. Oh. Now they'll attack Lord Claire for sure. Or at least, it'll make Frighty do the same. Oh. Claire's days are now numbered either way. What? Thank you very much for your help. I'm confused. But about this savior you missed? That was kept a secret, even from me. It could be a great contingency plan. Now this is getting even more confusing. I didn't think you'd sell them out, though. How do you think they'd feel about that? I don't need you to lecture me, Riley. I'm old enough to make my own choices. You won't get a reaction out of me here. Very well. You'll get your money soon. I'll have it delivered in a day or two. Perhaps you can buy Fidget at present. Money? We didn't do this for money, Riley. You said you had information about Mother. I did? You must be mistaken, Peavy. Get things written down in the future. It shows you won't get cheated. You bastard! Now, I didn't say you wouldn't get it. So you want information on Mum, huh? Then I have another task you can do for me. Not yet. I'm not finished with this. Why do you want Lord Claire on a hit list? I thought he was your boss, your friend. Of course he's not my friend. You're right about being my boss, though. But I hate that man. He's a stepping stone. He's snagging up all the votes for me. When he's gone, I'll take his campaign. And then the king's throne will be mine. What? And if he's killed by Righty, or even if the assassins get him, more reason to have them all executed. What is the next task? You know to learn about my mother. I'll tell you soon enough, PB. As I mentioned, I have a contingency plan. So if you excuse me, I'll be in touch. I don't like this at all. He lied to us, PB. Yeah, he did. Papa doesn't know anything about Mom. I bet he was just using us for his benefit. Yeah, he was. Don't worry, Fidget. He'll get what's coming to him. Really? You think so? Yeah. Evil men always do. Would you like to save your game? Right, I'll create a new save. Alright, well, this story is taking quite a turn. I don't know what to believe. Well, let's see.
seems like a good place to end the stream. Thank you for watching. Yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later.